gentlemen of crypto, episode 1333. Today is Friday, June 20th, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto. Most days, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. ish. And today's top stories: NASDAQ listed Lion Group bets big on Hyperliquid with $600 million treasury. Trump says Trump on genius stablecoin bill, get it on my desk ASAP. Politicians, meme coins drop court cases fueled crypto crime supercycle. MAGA breach of 16 billion passwords raises crypto security fears. And last but not least, crypto VC partner loses life savings during fake Zoom call. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a quick look at these Bitcoin prices. And the market is looking great today. Actually, we've been kind of bubbling back and forth between 104 to $107,000. So that is always good news. Bitcoin is coming in at $105,492, down, or excuse me, up 0.95%. Ethereum at $2,500, essentially up 0.58%. Ripple at number 4, $2.16, up 0.35%. Number 5, BNB, $647, up 0.9%. Number 8, Tron, 27 cents, up 0.3. Also want to mention Tron and scooted up a couple of seats. If you remember, they've been kind of teetering around number 10 or 11. They're officially at number 8. I've been saying this for like a year and a half now. They have slowly just been moving upwards, market cap and everything else. So they're definitely somebody we should keep paying attention to. Dogecoin, 16 cents, up 0.58%. Dogecoin to $1 won't be happening anytime soon. And Cardano at number 10 at 59 cents, up 0.59%. And since we'll be talking about today, number 11 is Hyperliquid, Hype, $36.79, down 0.31%. Fear and Greed Index is at a 48. Bitcoin dominance is actually at a 64.1%. So it's definitely pumped. And Ethereum is actually still hanging strong at 9.4% as well. So it looks like all these fanciful Ethereum donors is working out for them. They're keeping their price point and their market share high enough to stay alive. Again, I think it's all inflated, but we shall see as time moves forward, right? All right, those are your top stories of the day. And with that, let me get some quick shout outs in the chat. BK Crypto, Mr. Gamble, the Prince, Saber Saves, Marcellus Love, Lord Smith, Got a lot of Alapio, Wisdom Bars, Let's Square, Chloe Dior, TL, and yes, happy Juneteenth to everyone. I hope you all had some great celebrations yesterday. It is a day to be celebrated. I had a chance to take it out to the beach out here in Santa Monica and Los Angeles. They had a huge event, and it went off without a hitch as well. So shout out. I think it's like the Black Beach Club of Santa Monica. So shout out to them. It was a good day and a good event yesterday. So yes, Mr. Gamma the Prince says dog will probably touch. Oh, dog will probably touch $1 before Doge, but time would tell. I'm not familiar with dog. I gotta check it out. All right, let's go ahead and roll through it. Before the show, I haven't done a show this week. I've mostly been doing on Friday, so I'm looking at all the week stories. And let me tell you, folks, nothing has changed the last 3 to 5 weeks. Like, it's pretty much a theme of stories. Nothing that interesting. Like, actually, let me just pull up Cointelegraph Live, since this is one of the main news sources, of course, where they do have a lot of different stories. But like I said, you can kind of see the theme. Not that much like interesting news in the crypto world, which again is a good thing because it means everything is working, right? There aren't that bad news, but let's just scroll through them real quick. So South Korean talking about people going to crypto. Again, they do this article every week. South Korea on and off switched for crypto. Solana DEX, okay, whatever. I'm not talking about individual token DEXs for the most part. Bitcoin as a corporate treasury. We've talked about that so many times. This is actually an opinion piece. Chat GBT for crypto. XRP on chain might go to $3. Like, it's the same stories. Like, it's not going to be no AI right now. XRP is not going to $3 right now, and no one's doing a Bitcoin treasury. We get it, but that is like the most of stories. BlackRock ETF, we talk about them how much. Non-custodial staking, so DeFi, we talked about that. Bitcoin 106K, they're talking about the price point. TikTok denies Trump partnership. Like, it's blah stories. They're real. Arizona going back and forth about the Bitcoin reserve bill. More AI stories from Apple. More political stories about meme coins. Like, is literally the same thing. So believe me when I say it's not, I've chosen to do the stories on Friday, but it's also because, again, I'm waking up every morning. If you're in the Discord, you see me still. If you say something about a story, I'm responding. It's just like, it's not that interesting right now. It's not that interesting. And again, this is a good thing for the market because it shows maturation, right? when we do have a new story every day, that's a serious one, we're jerking in every new direction. That's kind of scary for the market. It shows the volatility where no one knows where it's going to go. Whereas now, since we have less volatility, right, and the market is stabilizing, now it's just like, well, I guess we'll talk about the same thing again. Like, what can we talk about? Nothing's wrong. There's not a big problem. So I will say that's a good thing when you look at the market maturation. Whereas, and you look at some of these altcoins, they might have a new news cycle every day, and that's because they're brand new. People are trying to attack it. Things are happening to it. So I take that as a good sign that there isn't that many interesting stories as it used to be. But also, I think this is just a lull moment, which we often see, where it's just like, Bitcoin and crypto picks up. There's nonstop stories, nonstop hype, everything's going into it, and then it kind of quiet down. I think we're just in that sideways movement period where it's kind of quiet. I do not think it's going to last long. In fact, I think we'll be out of this thing in the next 2 or 3 weeks as the summer really commences, because that is oftentimes where we see some of these cycles start to pump again. So I'm excited for it. I don't think it's going to be forever. I'm enjoying the slow news cycle as we have it now, but I do not expect it to continue throughout the entire summer. In fact, I think it'll kind of end in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back to either the dailies or every other day, depending on how crazy the news are. So we'll see. All right. Top story of the day: Nasdaq listed Lion Group bets big on Hyperliquid with a what is it, $600 million treasury. First and foremost, gotta give a shout out to our very own Alec G. Alec G was talking about Hyperliquid in the Discord, I think, probably about 6 to 8 months ago. So someone who spotted this early on our side, I'm happy to see that. But the $600 million treasury announcement came on the same day Nasdaq listed Ophalympic, I can't even pronounce that, ophthalmic technologies firm Inovia shared plans for a Hyperliquid token treasury. Again, this is a Singapore-based trading platform. It said it secured a $600 million facility from ATW Partners to fund the launch of its Hyperliquid token treasury and other blockchain initiatives. According to the company, $10.6 million of the capital will be deployed on Friday. So today they are kicking it off strong already. The Hyperliquid token will serve as the primary reserve asset of the firm's layer one treasury reserve asset, which will also feature Solana and Sui tokens. So again, it's a new essentially crypto reserve, and they're backing this one with Hyperliquid. They say Hyperliquid represents a natural extension of LGHL's existing derivatives business into decentralized markets and reflects our conviction that decentralized on-chain execution is the future of trading, says Wilson Wang, CEO of LGHL, in a Thursday announcement. We view protocols like Hype with decentralized sequencing as foundational to building scalable DeFi systems, he added. Um, this could be pretty interesting in a sense of, if Hyperliquid really catches a wave, and tokens on this platform catch a wave, then essentially they'd be winning with that, which is why this is such a big bet. Not just the number of it, $600 million, but what that $600 could represent and mean in the next 2 to 3 years, right? You're talking a couple of $1 billion possibly coming right back to them if they are correct about this. They're saying holding tokens like Sol or Sui isn't about digital gold. It's about betting on transaction heavy developer rich networks that power real consumer and DeFi use cases. Again, I get what they're saying. They want to own some of the back end, right? Solana as well, Sui as well. They're just bouncing around any popular token in that same semi DeFi space. It looks like they want to kind of invest in. I'm not mad at it. It's a good strategy, especially in the short term. Long term, do I think it's going to be beating out Bitcoin, or really will be the thing everyone go after? At this point, I'm kind of like, we've seen so many tokens and projects that claim to be the next best thing. I'm not going to go that far, but what I will say is, yes, when you catch them early like this, right? A lot of people still doesn't know about Hyperliquid and Hype. When you catch them early, Solana and Sui as well, this is still pretty early, and you start to actually invest in the back end, then yes, good things can happen. Those 100x plays usually come from these early investments. This being included as an early investment as well. So I see what they're trying to do. I think it could work out. And again, it's really good for the actual underlying tokens, right? The actual underlying markets. So when you think about the Hyperliquid, Solana, and Sui markets, if they move forward with this, which it looks like they're doing today, that will only make all those projects and all those communities stronger, because they got bigger backing to go into it. Whereas before, it might not have been there. So pretty cool to see. Shout out to Hyperliquid. Again, their first real nod of approval in my eyes from a institution of this size. We'll see what happens as time continues, though, right? Ron said LGHL is a Chinese company and not to be trusted. Listen, when I was reading the LGHL, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I know y'all from. Here's the deal, though. Chinese or not, the good thing about it is that the money's still going to money on. You know what I mean? They still got to buy the Hyperliquid token. These are global economies. It doesn't matter who's buying it from where. As long as it's bought, it affects the market on a global scale. So even in China, which is good, hey, let them spend $600 million on it, right? Again, this is why I say things like I don't think it's a long-term thing, right? But I do think those short-term plays are there, especially. I mean, they're putting 600 million into it. It's going to pump here the next what they're doing 10.6 million a day or whatever today. You keep this pace on a weekly basis or a monthly basis in about 4 to 6 months, you'll see at least a natural 5 to 7% growth on some of these tokens itself if they continue to invest as they claim they're going to do. So we'll see. I think it's pretty good though. Antonio said main talk right now is the war. That's true. That is true, Antonio. That were a lot of articles, opinion pieces. What's going on with of course, Iran, Israel, how it's affecting the markets. I will say with the war brewing, the markets are still looking incredible, right? We're still at 105K. I'm not running the article, but BlackRock had another article where they did a crazy amount of Bitcoin ETFs the last week or two, a lot of deposits. Of course, I'm sure you all saw the story. I think BlackRock owns about 3.25% of all Bitcoin right now. Which I can't say anything because again, back in the day, I think, we had ours almost up to 2% for a quick minute, 2% of all Bitcoin. So I can't say nothing now when a billionaire comes in and be like, all right, well, we had 3.25. Like it's the games we play. And one thing I will say is I used to have it, right? So same with BlackRock. They might have it now. Who knows where they want to shift some of their capital to? That can change overnight with a quick sale of a button, right? And next thing you know, they're back down to 2% where. But they definitely have a stake in Bitcoin and crypto right now. Let's see what else do we got going on. I'm looking at the comments. Saber Save said I would say Hyperliquid is already popular in the mainstream. All right, there we go. Crypto news is not crypto news anymore, says Jake Fever. We're going mainstream. We are, and that's exactly that's actually happening to the news cycle. It's such mainstream articles that's like so surface layer for sure. Tron going public through buying companies. Stablecoin bill going to save US and allow printing. Bombs fly and Bitcoin drops 1%. Listen, I am with you, Jake Fever. I totally agree. I do feel like that's the wave we're going. And it's crazy. I even thought about going full time back to my Kramer mode with the white button up. I'm like, it's almost here, folks. The hoodie season for crypto is almost gone. The sweatshirts are gone. This thing is about to be mainstream. They want to see button ups. They want to see ties. They want to see blazers. All right. They want it mainstream. Here we go. All right. Let's talk about here Trump on this genius stablecoin bill. He is saying get it to his desk ASAP. He wasn't as hyped about this or he wasn't hyped about yesterday as he is about this, but US President Donald Trump wants House members to pass a key stablecoin bill lightning fast so he can sign it into law. I think the Senate already passed it as well, but he's urging the House to pass the Guiding and Establish National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act as soon as possible so he can officially sign into law. The Senate just passed. Okay, they did. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Trump said before calling on the U.S. House of Reps to pass the bill lightning fast in the Truth Social post on Thursday. And again, one thing I want to say is we're halfway through 2025 and they're just talking about a stablecoin bill. We've been like, we've been talking about this now for the last 6 years. Before COVID, they were talking about this US gets stable coins and how does that work? So it's kind of crazy to see how long it's taken to even get this moving in general. But you can see him saying, get it to my desk ASAP, no delays, no add-ons. He said of the Genius Act. Here's his True Social post. The Senate just passed an incredible bill that is going to make America the undisputed leader in digital assets. Nobody would do it better. It is pure genius, because that's the bill, of course. Digital assets are the future, and our nation is going to own it. We are talking about the massive investment in big innovation. The House will hopefully move lightning fast and pass a clean Genius Act. Get it to my desk ASAP. No delays, no add-ons. This is an American brilliance at its best, and we are going to show the world how to win with digital assets like never before. Now, here's the thing. While I'm actually excited about that thought process and the attempt at this, my only issue is that I think it will be short lived. Once again, and we'll be talking about this when it comes to his meme coins that the president has, his wife has, and everything that's going on in the crypto landscape. Uh, I think that again, if we don't get the same type of administration, right? The same maybe conservative Republican administration that goes polar opposite next, we can see a lot of this disappear or kind of become unbundled, right? When you talk about some of these bills, the Genius Act, a lot of people don't want it. A lot of people don't want America to be crypto first. We saw that already the last 10 or 15 years in this space. It's been criminalized. Um, it's been ostracized. Like everything negative toward the Bitcoin and crypto market that could happen has happened. It's been, so now all of a sudden we're seeing all this good, legislation being passed and all this good news and good nods for Bitcoin and crypto. Again, this could all be undone in the next 3 years, as soon as he's out the office. Now, hopefully they make this so ironclad or so convoluted. It takes time for this to be undone, or maybe it becomes too big to fail, right? If we really do get a stablecoin bill going, we get a US stablecoin, this becomes the primary way we trade and everything like that. Maybe it'll be too big to fail. But by and large, I do think this is good for the market in the short term. But will it stay? I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why he's trying to get it passed as soon as possible so that he can add additives to it to make it even stronger, right? To make it even harder to reverse. So this came after the Senate passed the Genius Act in a 68-30 vote on Tuesday. So again, 30 people still don't want it. A vote in the House is next, where Republicans also hold a slim majority over Democrats. And let's not forget, this is politics with everything going on with the war, and who thinks who's doing what and who's on whatever side. This not even could be, it will be politicized, right? There will be people saying the only way I vote this yes or vote this a certain way is if I get what I want in other political realms or political actions that are happening in the background. So, it won't just be because, they don't or do like the Genius Act. I think it will also be because everything else that's going on politically as well. So, David Sachs here saying the U.S. Senate has passed the Genius Act, landmark stablecoin legislation that provides regulatory clarity, enhances consumer protection, and extends U.S. dollar dominance online. Thanks to President Trump for his leadership on crypto, and Senator Haggerty for authoring the bill. It says, let's see, many proponents of the Genius Act believe it will play a crucial role in maintaining U.S. dollar dominance in global finance. The bill's sponsor, Senator Bill Haggerty, said that will allow businesses of all sizes and Americans across the country will be able to settle payments nearly instantaneously rather than waiting for days or sometimes even weeks. And here's the thing of why, again, this is semi-true. And the reason why I say semi-true is because we already can do this. So you are crazy if you think the headline of this is that, hey, Americans can settle their transactions faster. That's why we're doing this bill. It's going to make Americans have instant transactions. Like if it was that important or that's what it really was about, then they just be saying use Bitcoin. You don't have to build a whole stablecoin bill. You don't have to build a stablecoin infrastructure. You can just use Bitcoin if it literally was about instant transactions. So we know that's not the truth. There's other things at play here. I'm sure there's going to be taxes, the ability to print as much as you want, to make as many stable coins as you want. There's going to be way other things at play here, way more other things at play. But I love the attempt at making it seem like, hey, we're doing this for you, all right? You want instant transactions. This is us helping the American people. Chikizi said stable coins, at least from Trump's perspective, are a dollar play. I agree with you. A fiat currency play, an attempt to sustain the falling value of fiat. I totally agree. Let's see. Under the last Friday's show, Satoshi Slim, what was the comment? Let me know what was the comment from last show. I might have missed it, so just replay it right now. Is this a backdoor CBDC adoption with gravy for corporations, or am I tripping? Price Cobbs, no, I think this is a backdoor CBDC adoption where, yes, many corporations, institutions, as well as the government will be working lock and step, the same we see with the Federal Reserve, and start to pump this. Now, I will say the good thing is, I have often said stable coins are still a base hit. So even if you're using a stable coin, you're still getting closer to using Bitcoin and crypto as a whole, right? So maybe the person who uses a stable coin first have never used Bitcoin, have never used crypto as a whole, and then they start using stable coins. And then they're gonna wake up like, oh wait, is this what people been talking about? Like, this is easy, this makes sense. And then people say, well, have you heard about this crypto? Have you heard about Bitcoin? Then they're gonna be like, wait, why aren't we just doing this with Bitcoin? Why are we even using a stable coin? Everybody can be like, exactly, that's what we've been saying. So I think this is a base hit, right? In a roundabout way, no pun intended. But this is a base hit to leading back to Bitcoin. All roads will lead back to Bitcoin anyway. So as crazy as it is, it's still good for the overall market. You're still bringing people back here. Let's see. Crypto bill faced earlier setbacks. Yeah, if you want to know more about the Genius bill or the Genius Act, you can look more into it on here. On Cointelegraph, the strongest critics, of course, were Senator Elizabeth Warren, who said Trump and his family would make hundreds of millions of dollars from his USD1 stablecoin if the bill passed. I agree. I fully agree with that. Everybody who's on the inside track that first month will be making hundreds of millions of dollars from the stablecoin bill if passed. So, again, that is why they don't want to just do Bitcoin. And again, that is why it's not about instant payments for the retail user. Like I love that they keep trying to put it back on us. Like, no, we're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you. Everybody, Americans across the country will be able to settle payments nearly instantaneously. You can already do it without this bill, without this act, or without a stable coin with Bitcoin. So again, it's not about that. It's about controlling the market and controlling some of the narrative of the market, which, hey, it is what it is. This is American business doing what it does best. And the shame part is like, to be critical, you got to go to the other side with Elizabeth Warren. And these are the same folks who are like, no, the only people in Bitcoin and crypto are criminals. So it's like, well, I don't want to side with them who just thinks everybody's a blanket criminal, all because we're not using a bank in Wall Street because that's their best friend. But then on the flip side, it's like, hey, on the other side, it's gonna be no rules. There'll be no rules. Everybody's gonna be getting backhanded deals going. It's gonna be money flowing. You know, some things will work, some things won't work. There'll be a lot of volatility and craziness, but at least the game is being played. You talk about Elizabeth Warren's side, there is no game, right? Everything is illegal. You're not allowed to trade or transact. Everything's taxed, and you're not allowed to use your own wallet. You have to use a centralized wallet. It's her talking. So, you know, one side is let's see, one side is like almost laughably evil, and the other side is just like laughably ignorant. So I don't know. Which one do we go to? You got to pick one for sure. I'm picking the side of Bitcoin. Again, that's where all roads will lead to, but it's definitely going to be a lot of chop in the middle. Let's see. Buckeye says, does the Genius Act include payments like for Amazon, Walmart to start accepting them? I don't think it specifically is going to say which corporations, or it doesn't specifically say the type of corporations, but it's allowing a stable coin to be legally here so that, yes, they can say, well, right now you have, let's say, Walmart on the sideline, Facebook on the sideline, where nobody's doing their own stable coin or nobody's doing their own token, right? Because the government's discouraged it. I think once we get the stable coin, they'll encourage it. Say, fine, all right, fine, fine, fine. You all wanted something. We got some. We got the US stable coin. You can now use this to buy and sell goods. And we have it in our national database as a real currency, right? So I think they'll start using it after it kind of gets rolled out like that. Jake said, this is greed. The rich want to get richer and see regular folks getting rich and want some. Oh, they see regular folks getting rich these last few years and they want some of that as well. Price is a Trojan horse. Freedom of money is going to happen if humanity understands Bitcoin. I fully agree with you. That's why I keep saying it's all about the technology. When they're talking about instant payments, it's like, don't act like you just invented the technology. The technology is right in front of us and we're still not using it. So, yes. Satoshi Slim said it was one of the three comments under the episode. Oh, okay. And the actual comments, I will get back to it. I thought you meant the comment from the show. I will get back to it then. You're talking about Ethereum being used since 2020 by Euro commodities traders. I will check that out and reply back to that comment as well. Then I thought you meant in the show. But I'm trying to think out loud what it was. I think I do actually seen it pop up. And I will say this just off the top of my head. This is what I mean by the Euro commodity traders in general. These are some of the groups that are keeping Ethereum alive. So that's what you're referencing to, but I will go back and respond. Hey, Hidden Gangster, what up, though? Welcome back to the show. All right, that's the Genius Act. It looks like it's going to happen. Trump wants it to happen. The only reason I see the Genius Act not getting pushed through Congress is if, again, it's being politicized to the point of like, no, no, no. Until we get what we want with X, Y, and Z, we're not pushing this through. But on the flip side, if we see this thing gets pushed through in the next, I mean, let's pontificate really quick. Genius Act goes through in the next 2 to 4 weeks. They do some back end work and talks and contracts. And next, I mean, essentially 2 to 3 months, we could have a United States stablecoin being used, right? By the end of the summer, we could have a United States stablecoin being used in regular day-to-day business. You all understand how, like, that is almost as crazy as the Waymos right now, the self-driving cars. I hope you all realize where we're at technologically. Like, we may get a national stable coin and be able to use it in the next 2 to 3 months. That will be insane. So I do think again this is going to be good for the Bitcoin market as a whole because all roads will lead back to in that education and everything. Because low key, by having a stable coin, you are co-signing the crypto market. You are saying this is real. We're using this. We agree with this. You're co-signing the entire market. That's part of the reason why they haven't had one yet. But I need you all to understand how crazy markets are going to go. Not only I think will there be some initial pumps for a lot of companies and corporations again. These will be instant transactions, so their revenue will be actualized overnight versus having this whole debt to asset ratio balance sheet that they've been using for the last 100 years to kind of play with the numbers. Like more revenue will be actualized, more debt will be actualized. A lot of things will be seen in our face overnight. But again, the markets are going to go crazy. The markets, like you literally have Congress folks saying, "Hey, President Trump himself stands to make hundreds of millions of dollars off this deal." Everybody's gonna be making money off this deal, folks. It's gonna go crazy. So I do think we may be opening Pandora's box here, but that box could be fully open in the next 2 to 3 months, possibly if he gets that bill passed. I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see. Buckeye said, I just don't understand how or why I would spend it. I use tap to pay every day. If I use money as cash in my bank account connected to my tap to pay, why or how would I use a crypto wallet to tap to pay? So, all right, I think that's going more to the future of a lot of people who are using like the fold card or other type of alternative payment mechanism. I think BitPay had a card for a minute. I think Coinbase is trying to roll out a card. I know Gemini may have had something for a minute, but everybody's trying to do these crypto credit cards and give you reward points back in crypto. The thing is, I don't think it's not even think a lot of people are just fully into crypto. They don't want to leave, right? So paying for things in cash using tap to pay may be okay for somebody who's already have their bank account connected and they are using tap to pay. But a lot of people want to tap to pay with their crypto right now. They want to tap to pay with their crypto. And since that's not, we don't have an ability to do that, or we do have an ability to do it, but these companies haven't put these point of sale systems at their brick and mortar spots or online or whatever. We have no choice but to use the normal tap to pay. I think what they're saying now is like, hey, we'll still allow you to do tap to pay, but now you can tap to pay a stable coin, which of course you could trade into from your crypto, right? So now you can have your Dogecoin, Cardano, and Bitcoin, whatever else, and say, okay, well, I'm gonna swap some of this into my stable coin and then go grocery shopping and tap to pay with a stable coin. That is my thought on the onset. That's how it should work, whatever. So if they were to do something different, I'm not sure. But I think that's how it's more than likely going to work, where you have your crypto wallets on your phone, and then you're transferring into a stable coin. You can tap to pay with a stable coin, and boom. That way you can still use your crypto or you can use your cash, and everything looks good. Circle IPO went stupid, says Alec. Yes, Circle IPO is going crazy. But I mean, listen, Circle is Goldman Sachs. Like, of course, Wall Street's going to bet on their brother, right? Like, that's one. Oh, that's one of the guys. Man, he does a good job. He always brings home the bacon. Like, this is Wall Street. They're going to bet on Goldman Sachs. That's low key why I haven't really covered it. Like, of course, Circle IPO, which is crazy too, because if you actually look at Circle's history in crypto, they actually don't, I don't think they have a winning record really. Like, they haven't done great stuff. What I will say is they have access to a lot of things. They have access to a lot of data, customers, and things of the sort that could be worth a lot in the right hands. So I think that has a little bit to go with the IPO, but by and large, it's like, I mean, I know they got the stable coin and everything, but you can, like, with the money going toward the IPO, they could just redo another project. So, I mean, I get it. Shout out to Circle. I expected them to do what they're doing essentially. Alec G says stablecoin usage has outpaced the US GDP over $27 trillion last year. Holy smokes. I take that back. I guess Circle IPO is worth that much. Listen, goodness gracious, I didn't know it was that much. Alec G, thank you for the comment on that. So it looks like the stable coins is where it's going to be at $27 trillion. This is what I'm talking about when we talk about these markets, folks. This is why you can make the statement, or she made the statement, which might not be all the way in true, but it's definitely going to be some money, where she says, Trump administration, these folks stand to make hundreds of millions of dollars from this deal. This is a multi-trillion-dollar market. The crumbs are millions of dollars, right? If you get a crumb in this market, you're talking about, let's say I got 0.005% of this market. You might be talking about $20 million right there, right? Like $10 million easy. So these are going to be huge markets. I guess that is why Circle IPO is getting a look. They're getting additional, with it being addition to, of course, Goldman Sachs having that backing. But for sure, it's definitely going to be a lot of money to be made once these stable coins get to pumping again. We should wait and see. He said he wanted to pass ASAP. We'll see how that actually happens. Wyatt Trice said, "How do I feel about the crypto companies going public like Circle, and do they get pumps on stock side like Circle did?" So I mean, how do I feel about it? It's whatever, because to me, it was always inevitable, which is why most of these companies are not Bitcoin focused or Bitcoin specific. They're doing altcoins, they're doing stable coins, they're doing whatever. So whenever companies, projects, institutions, or whatever, whenever they do everything else but Bitcoin and they're not already public, they're definitely looking to go public. And it's only because it's the natural progression of a business and a market, essentially. So if you are doing something novel, which a lot of these companies are, right? This is all new stuff. This is all different stuff. We're going to do Hyperliquid, right? We're going to do Solana. We're going to do Ethereum for some of them. Or some of them, we're just going to have a good old school now, which is crazy because it's 15 years old, but we're just going to have a regular exchange. Whatever that is, there is only so much growth. I won't say only so much growth, but after a certain amount of growth in this space, it only makes sense to go public, because you're talking like the difference of having, I mean, $200 million to $1 billion, honestly, like, is, or 20 million to 200 million. Like, those are the significant differences. Remember, when you go public, everyone's allowed to buy in. B, not to mention, some of the people in these projects have been working on for the last 3 to 5 to 6, 7, 8 years, and they're tired. They are tired. They're like, maybe I've taken it as far as I can take it, or maybe I'm done fighting with the government or fighting with regulators. Like, I want my just due as well. And the best way to do that is to go public, to get it all back at once. You saw Coinbase do it. The people who went public and sold their bags from Coinbase made a killing early. Of course, that price dipped for a while. And then as the Bitcoin cycles came back, such as now, you saw that stock price rise. So more people are making their money back in that stock also. So yeah, I think that's the end goal for a lot of companies, even if they don't say it, right? They might come in like, no, we're going to do this the right way and blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, once they actually do the numbers and as time goes on, they see how many hurdles they have, they're going to be like, let's just go public. Let's go public and sell this bad boy, hire us a real CEO, get a board, and get out the way. And not only that, last but not least, it's kind of inevitable where it becomes too big to fail, to where even the government, I mean, looking at Coinbase, they're like, look, we're not going to let y'all keep operating the way you're operating. So there's literally only like two moves you can make. You could dissolve yourself, get out of here, leave the country, or you can become a part of the team as much as you can. The only way to do that is to go public, to say, I'm with it, I'm with the regulators, I'm with the compliance, whatever. We're a public company. We turn in records to the United States. So that would be my thing right there. Okay, Char said they use a Coinbase card. There you go. Jake said tap to pay is not using your money. Faster settlement is what they want. Tap to pay doesn't settle fast. You just think it does because the number in your account is right, because it's made up fugazi. So as it is right now, I agree. But I'm saying once it comes to stable coins, I think that's what they're going to want to do, is tap to pay, which would be an instant settlement for stable coins. Which, by the way, if it's an American stable coin, I highly doubt it still would be an immediate settlement as well. I highly doubt they allow that. They'll probably will have it to where it seems immediate, but on the back end there will be some things that have to be worked out, some algorithms that have to be worked. Speaking of algorithms, I can't think of the token or who it is right now. Somebody did say something in the Discord the other day from one story I did. Oh, who is it back in there? When we were talking about Terra Luna. So who's the new Terra Luna right now? Back in their crypto with Bitcoin. I can't remember who it was. Let me know in the comments. I think Jake, you put the story out there. Who is backing their crypto or Bitcoin or something? We said there was a new Terra Luna. I saw it and I meant to talk about that story, but I forgot. They built Circle for an exit. Exactly. Thank you, Alec. This Circle IPO is an exit. Everything is about to change with this stable coin. It's like, as soon as they IPO, I'll give it a year. I give it a year. Expect positions at new CEOs, new people in charge of this. new developers, new everything, right? Like a lot of people are gonna be like, woof, we are lucky we unloaded this bad boy on the American public. Now let's exit stage left. I agree, Alec. I think Circle is they're looking for their exit right now. Let's see, Mr. Gamble the Prince said, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it Tether using the Bitcoin Lightning Network? I'm not sure if Tether were actually using the Bitcoin Lightning Network. If they were using it, I don't think it was like for their main business, but maybe a part of it to encourage the Lightning Network. So I'm not sure about that. All right, I'll get back to the comments in a second. Last few stories. Politicians, meme coins, drop court cases, fuel crypto crime super cycle. They are calling it a crypto crime super cycle that we're in right now. And I'll say this, I wouldn't doubt it, actually. I'm not even going to push back on this story. I'm going to say I wouldn't doubt it. I haven't read this article, but I have a very good idea of what it's about. And it's probably going to be about uh, the weakening of crypto compliance and regulation the last essentially few months, and the encouragement of the meme coins and things of the such, and how it's probably leading hackers and everybody else to say, oh, I guess it's okay. We go a little crazy right now. Like, that's my thoughts. Blockchain sleuths Zach XBT and Taylor Monahan says crypto scammers have been emboldened with U.S. regulators dropping crypto-related court cases and politicians endorsing meme coins. Let's see, meme coins promoted by political figures like Donald Trump, lax regulations, and crypto court cases abandoned by U.S. regulators have kicked off a crypto crime supercycle, they're calling, say a pair of blockchain crime investigators. And I also say, if Zach XBT is saying that there's a crime supercycle, I actually believe him. This is a person who's for real in the community, who's doing free work, right? Complimentary work for a lot of projects and people, right? You lose your crypto, like a lot of it, and it's a headline. Like, they'll get on it. They'll find out who took it, or at least like what address took it and where it's being sent to. They've been doing a great job for the community. So if they're coming out saying, "Hey, everyone, we're noticing a crime super cycle," I truly believe it coming from these people. This is a good source of information who actually cares about the retail side of the house, not just the institutional side of the house when you come into this space. So if Zach XBT is saying, hey, this is for real right now, then I'm going to go ahead and say this is for real right now. But Zach XBT posted it to X on Thursday that crypto has historically been ripe for abuse, but he has noticeably increased since politicians launched meme coins and numerous court cases were dropped, further enabling the behavior. He claimed crypto influencers and key thought leaders face zero repercussions for scamming their followers. Now, that part I do agree has been like that for a long time right now, where yeah, people are scamming and just they pull in the Zay, they tuck their head, they disappear, and and again, more to come. My man, he's trying to do some faceless YouTube channels out here. He's trying to come back on y'all with no face and no name. So if you see some new crypto channels pop up, you better be on the watch. But no, there hasn't been any repercussions. That said, there's never been a worse time to be doing black hat phishing, social engineering, robberies versus gray hat activity when the current environment is favorable, Zach XBT said. So here it is. He has a whole X post on it as well. He actually throws numbers in it also for those who want the real numbers. Laundering groups and small OTC brokers have seemingly won the battle for Lazarus Group after successfully laundering recent hacks. Bybit, DMM Bitcoin, Wiser X, etc. with ease. I estimate the Black U market on Tron is no less than $5 to $10 billion and largely unattributed. Oh man, Tron is in on this too. All right, I don't feel bad for Bybit. Again, this whole Bybit narrative with the hacks, like I said, we gotta go both ways on it. Bybit was just as dirty. If anything, this was a Robin Hood move on Bybit. They're just as dirty. They're keeping people crypto. I don't support that either. So, a number of teams sit and watch collecting fees, doing nothing when more than 50% of the activity for their protocol comes from stolen funds. Again, that is what it is too. That's not the We're not going to do that. That's not the protocol's fault. That's not the protocol fault, and that's how you get centralized, more centralized protocols is by saying, okay, well, bad money went through. Now we need to stop it. Right now, depending on what side you sit with Israel, Iran, Hamas, and Gaza, anything could be considered bad money, right? So if we say you can't put laundering money that's been laundered through your protocol, what's to stop the same or different groups of people saying, well, you can't have this type of money from this country come through your protocol? We can have money from short people in your protocol. Now you got money from tall people in your protocol. It's like such a slippery slope. So that part I will disagree with. Zach, stay the course. All right, you're you're a white hat hacker, whatever, gray hat. Stay the course. Let's not start talking about who should be doing what. Let's just keep fighting the lost funds. But he's saying this is because of slow regulation. Again, this is also because of uh, politicians like Trump doing their own tokens. And last but not least, it says blockchain sleuth Taylor Monahan also chimed in saying scammers operating in the space are unlikely to change while they are still being rewarded through large profits. No social, financial, or legal downsides or friction around this type of behavior. Second is that it's so simply so easy and there's so much instant money on the table for doing so. So I will say it seems like that right now, but we have seen the governments around the world retroactively go after some of these criminals once they realize who done what, right? So I will say right now on the surface, it does look like they're getting away with it. Many are, but I don't think that's going to be the long. You got to remember, this is a like they're leaving digital signatures. They're leaving digital signatures, and this is real money and real losses. So at least not for me. So I can't see it happening from the American government either. Where in the next 3 to 4 years, they're like, oh, we finally figured out who stole that $100 million. I guess we'll leave it alone. Like, what? Are you crazy? No. It's time to get active. The battery just got put in the back. We finally figured out who we've been looking for 5 or 6 years. Let's go get them. Nothing changes. So I will say it may feel like they're getting away with things now and things look good. And I will say for some of the bigger players, they are. When you look at what's the Argentine president, Malai, when you talk about that Libra token, he is clearly getting away with that big rug pull that he did on the entire country. He's getting away with it, right? With American backing. So I won't say no one's getting away with it, but I will say, like, for some of the sophisticated players who think they just got away with 50 million, 20 million, whatever else, and that's the end of it. I don't think it's gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be that simple. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. The way the United States play, folks, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Let's see. Oh, speaking of all these hacks and stuff, the last two stories are absolutely crazy. First and foremost, this is more of a heads up story. The story's in the headline itself. Massive or mega breach of 16 billion passwords raises crypto security fears. A leak of 16 billion passwords from services including Apple, Google, and Facebook poses serious risk for crypto holders. Again, we don't have to go in depth on this. I know many of you, while you shouldn't, you're using the same passwords for some of your crypto accounts as you are your Facebook accounts and whatever else, right? Google and Apple and things of the sort. For one, you should be having different passwords for every account. Two, those passwords you should not even be creating. You should be creating them through a password generator. And three, with the amount of passwords you need now, you need a password manager. Okay. One pass, I used to use one pass, they do a good job. You now have big like CRM platforms that do password management. I know Zoho does it as well now. LastPass has been doing it, but they've been hacked about 2 or 3 times. So I don't know. But specifically, I will say people wallets have been hacked. I think this their actual server side has been hacked, but don't quote me on that. But by and large, like password managers are where we're at right now. Like AI is becoming like think about somebody who can get a hold of an AI program and try to brute force your password or whatever, try to figure out your password using AI. Like the amount of algorithms and combinations that AI can come up with is crazy. So you don't want to be coming up with passwords on your own, and you definitely don't want to be using this same password on notable places like Apple and Google, right? It's one thing if you're on some third party, something small that nobody's never heard of, and you're just using a basic password that you also use, like whatever. I got basic sign-ons and passwords for things I don't care about, right? Like maybe it's a PlayStation account connected to another gaming account online. So like it was just like I don't care. Like what's gonna happen? You're gonna get it and start playing video games. Like I don't care. But when you're talking about your actual wallets and stuff, you want to make sure you're changing them. And this is a great time to say it's time to change them, right? Whenever I see articles like this, it just reminds me why not do some spring cleaning right now? So it's not like you have to do it all at one time because it would like for me to change all my passwords at once, it's like a 2 hour activity, 3 hour activity. So I'm not saying you do it all at once, but today and the next week, as you start going onto your websites, you're checking your email and your Google and your Apple, just change them right now. Just change them right now. The next week is a good time to do it now that this massive data breach has happened. The last thing you want is to wake up on a Sunday morning or something unexpectedly, check your phone or something. It's like everything's missing or everything's gone. And you're like, oh, what happened? This isn't possible. I changed my crypto passwords. I do this. And it's like, well, did you change the Apple one? You heard about what happened to the leak, right? So always be aware, be leery, and do the right thing as far as keeping these things up to date. All right, let me check out the comments before this last story. I see a few of y'all in the comments are going crazy. Reggie, shout out to Reggie Milson. What's going on, Reggie? So I don't believe they've disclosed this in their IPO prospectus. What's that? I gotta go back. Reggie says Circle has been sued for patent infringement, and more than one company has patents that cover Circle's one product. So, and I know that to be true as well. It's kind of like what Alex said as far as how they're looking for an exit. I think, sir, I mean, it's not even a thing. It's what's going on right now. It's one of those things where even if people are being sued, even if what they say they have isn't theirs, they're moving forward. They're like, hey, we're going to move forward. We're going to make this sell and we're going to let the courts figure out what the courts are going to figure out. So it's crazy that they actually even are allowed to do that and move forward if they do have active lawsuits. But again, hopefully that will make it more sweet on the back end from a settlement or when they actually have to come back out and enforce those actions as well. Let's see what else we have going on. Ooh, y'all in the comments right now. Afro, hey, Afro King, I'm almost there. 9 times 9, you know it. Jake, thank you, Jake. It was Cardano. Cardano is buying Bitcoin with Cardano. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jay. Listen, Cardano's pulling a Terra Luna, folks. They're starting to buy Bitcoin with their Cardano. Let me find the story real quick. Let me find the story. Cardano buying Bitcoin. Yes, yes. This is officially the end, the beginning of the end. It shouldn't have went this far. Let me see here. Oh my goodness, here it is. Yep, yep. They're pulling a Terra Luna. Let me share this story for you real quick, folks. They're pulling a Terra Luna on us right in front of our eyes. Here it is. All right. Do I got the story up? I do have it up. Boom. Let me blow it up. Let me blow it up. It says here Cardano founder announces $100 million Bitcoin buy in shocking move to prop up ADA price. If this isn't Terra Luna, I don't know what is. Do you all remember when I called it out that day and I say, wait. Terra Luna's algorithmic stablecoin or whatever they call it is now buying Bitcoin to make the algorithm go algo. I'm like, they just scammed everybody. They scammed you all, and people. I remember people was arguing with me. I made money off in this, and I was like, so what? People made money off BitConnect. I'm like, the whole foundation falls apart when you have to go back toward Bitcoin. You got to remember, folks. I won't say every at this point because now their projects they're not about token specific, more about the marketplace and technology. So I won't say every, but 99% of these projects exist because they said we can do something better or faster than Bitcoin. That is why most of these projects are here, including Ethereum. When you talk about smart contracts, there's not a reason why you can't build smart contracts on Bitcoin. It was already understood it would take longer to build, right? And they were like, well, we'll just do it quicker and easier. And then they got into the mess that they're in when it comes to scaling because quicker and easier isn't always the way. Same thing here when you're looking at Cardano. I don't even care enough to do like the deepest of dives or what they're actually supposed to be doing right now because I'm at this point confused. But what they're not supposed to be doing is saying, hey, we're essentially a Bitcoin competitor, but now we're going to start buying Bitcoin. Like it makes zero sense. It is official. It is a scam. It is officially a scam now. And this is the beginning of the end. Charles Hoskinson has made an interesting proposal in a bid to boost Cardano's DeFi ecosystem. He proposed creating a sovereign wealth fund which could include up to $100 million worth of Bitcoin, potentially sparking an ADA price surge. If it did surge the price of ADA, if that were to happen, then again, it just goes to show the community. I'll just say that. I hope it would. I hope if they do it, it would pump the price. You know, I do want people to make money for sure. So I hope if they do that, it will pump the price. But I highly doubt it will pump the price. I think if they make that move, everyone like me is going to see like, oh, y'all scamming. Like because once again, you could just buy the Bitcoin yourself and get your own price pump. Why would you buy a token on its way down that's investing in Bitcoin just so they can pump the price? Not to mention the treasury is going to be the treasury for Cardano, not the treasury for the Cardano community. It will be the treasury for Cardano itself, which means they will make money off the Bitcoin, but maybe you won't as the underlying user. So yeah, that's kind of crazy to see. Shout out to Cardano, Charles Hoskinson. Hey, do what you can, man. It's looking more and more like Terra Luna every day. But again, I hope they work it out because I do want the people invested in it to make some dough off it. But once again, we just know that's not the future of crypto, right? Antonio, thank you for the super chat. Said keep up the good work. Shout out to Antonio holding it down from overseas as always. Let's see. Crime Mob, Nuck If You Buck is the new national anthem. Yo, I love it. That is hilarious. I'm gonna have to put that as a soundbite. Listen, before we leave, I'll show you. I got a couple stuff already loaded up, folks. I'm just waiting for some fun sound bites and stuff. I'm just waiting to do it all at once. You know, I'm a perfectionist. Miser, I think it says Miser. My bad if I pronounced that wrong. See, I jumped out. I jumped out of LastPass for 1Password. Also started using pass keys and 2FA everywhere. So for sure, 1Password is good. I will speak on 1Password. I left 1Password to go to a different password manager essentially, but 1Password had done justice for me. I like it. I actually still have it, you know, because once you stop paying for it, it allows you to keep your passwords. You just can't do like any updates to the software on your computer and everything. But I agree, it's pretty good. I still use it. The passkey thing, I'm not sure about yet because a lot of it wants like biometric data from what I've been seeing as far as like a fingerprint or face or different stuff. So I haven't been sold on passkeys yet. I always say no to that. It's kind of too scary. I don't want Apple to have all that just yet. But yes, and then two-factor authentication for sure, for sure. Also, don't sync Google Authy with the cloud. That just doesn't seem smart. I agree with you. Do not sync your Google off with the cloud. Let's see, Husan. So I have been every day, every other day. Right now, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've just been going live on Fridays, only because honestly, the news cycle is just super slow. Next week, I possibly may go back Monday, but for sure, I've been doing Fridays just to make sure I'm checking in, giving you all updates. But again, I'm here every morning to go live. It's just like I'm telling you, I'm not gonna go live to talk about. Oh, so we're talking about a possibility of XYZ happening again. Like it's killing me right now. Mentally, it's killing me. All right, it's killing me. Alec G is next level, of course. Alec G said you got to host your own password manager. He's right about that as well. If you host your own password manager, that makes it like infinitely more difficult to break into as well. Let's see. Reggie, you said, I noticed if I didn't mention something to Reggie, it's only because I'm not seeing it on these little mainstream shows, man. You know, it's not intentional. See, I noticed I didn't mention that Barry Tasian brought an action against the SEC for fraud upon the couch. I didn't see that. I'm about to look it up right now, Reggie. Oh, yeah, I did not know that. Let's see. Very Tasium. I've been wanting this to happen for a while. I've been wanting you all to get back at the SEC. Very Tasium sues SEC. Let me see what it says here. Yeah, it's not coming up just now. Look, Reg, they don't like you, man. They trying to hide it. Oh, here we go. And this derivative action based on the credible evidence introduced at trial. Court of no, these are some old ones. We gotta get the new articles in here. We gotta get the new articles, Reggie. I'll give you a shout so I can get the new articles. But shout out to Veritasium. I hope you do bring an action against the SEC and win because I do think what they did was totally unfair to you all and every other company at that time. Let's see. Now if they OD buying a bunch of in-game skins. Hey, my video games ain't connected to no credit or no debit cards. Ain't no skin buying. You think I'm on these games buying skins? I'm not on these games buying nada. But no, I feel you, Satoshi Slim. But yeah, shout out to Reggie as well. One story I do want to get to before we end this for sure that has to do with these hacks and leaks and the environment, the crime that was a hypercycle that we're in right now. Is this hypersphere partner? This is probably one of the craziest stories I have read in crypto when it comes to getting all your content, or I say content, all your crypto stolen. Crypto VC partner loses life savings during fake Zoom call. Hypersphere investment partner Mahdi Farouk said he lost 6 wallets and years of savings after falling victim to a fake Zoom call phishing attack. And again, something I've been saying since 2017 when I noticed it. These attacks are so sophisticated, it is very hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Again, I just want to reiterate there are scams out here by organized crime groups, right? You got to understand some of these, like these are for real. We've been organized crime gangs since this, like the 50s, the 40s, the 1800s, right? Like somebody, I remember one story years ago, it's like a secret society was stealing some crypto from one of their members, if you remember that story. So these groups are organized crime groups. They've been around for a while and they know how to make it look real. Again, some of the most egregious ones I've seen in the past have fake virtual offices. So like, or some of them physical offices, but they're fake, like the rented offices essentially. But they have, you walk into the office, there's an assistant. You look at the doors, there's names on the doors, there's pictures on the walls, there's music being played, there's incense being lit. You're like, oh, I'm at a real corporate office somewhere and on the 20th floor somewhere. And the whole time it is all fake, right? The office doors are rented, the assistant's only there for a short time. They got AI working in the background. They put 10 to 50K up front to make it look like a real operation so that they can pull in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Like, this is how sophisticated these scams and organized crime groups are getting. So I just want to throw that out. And some of them not even crime groups. Let's not forget some of the biggest heists. What was it? The 17-year-old, 18-year-old. Him and his friends got about $200 million of crypto and went on a spending spree before they got caught like 6 weeks later. That wasn't an organized crime group. That was some 16 or 17-year-olds who knew how to do a few things on a computer and social engineering attack. So there's not all big and bad wolves. There's also some baby badasses running around, some baby kids running around. But needless to say, this one was one of the more sophisticated ones for sure. Looks like, let's see, Mahdi Farouk, an investment partner at crypto venture capital firm Hypersphere, revealed on Thursday that he lost a significant portion of his life savings in a targeted phishing attack orchestrated through a fake Zoom call. And of course, that it is if this is real. You got to remember some of these executives and stuff. They hit you with that Ann Bellina, like, oh, what's going on? My tax day is 3 days away, and all my crypto's gone right now in front of the world. You never know, right? But in the post on X, Farouk explained that the attack began with a message on Telegram from Alex Lynn, so he knew he wanted to catch up. Farouk recounted. This is something that's been happening to me often as well. I get a message on Telegram either from somebody who looks like I know or whatever, and then usually I can always tell when it's scammers. So they just started off like, "Hey," or "Hello," or "What's up?" And I'm just like, if you know me, especially if you know me at this point, like, especially if you're a grown man, you just, hey, or what's up me. I'm what? Like, what do you want? What do you want? Not in a bad way, but it's like, hello. Like, were we supposed to message back and forth? Like, what are we doing? So whenever it starts like that, I'm always like, it's some scammer who don't know like a full English sentence yet, trying to get me whatever. But it does usually start like they give you a hey on Telegram, then it's like, haha, I just want to see if you want to check this out or something. You're like, what are you talking about? But essentially, they want you to click a link or go do something next, right? So I can already visualize how this started on Telegram. The two had previously interacted, making the outreach seem routine. That's what usually happens. Farouk then shared his calendar link with Lynn, who scheduled a meeting for the next day. Minutes before the scheduled call, Lynn asked to switch to Zoom Business for compliance reasons, adding that one of his LPs, Kent, another familiar name, would be joining. Given that Farouk had been managing treasury deals, the request didn't raise suspicion. Now, I will say I'm not sure if treasury deals has to do with Zoom Business. Maybe it's the way it's being recorded or something. But having a Calendly call, usually Calendly will link either with Zoom, your own personal video server thing, or Google Business as well. So regardless of what platform they're using, most of them do the same thing as far as allowing you to record and everything else. So for me, if somebody will be like, hey, well, can we just switch to something like minutes before for compliance? Don't know. What type of deal are we talking? What are we talking about to make me even want to do? Because you're making me work now. Like, I don't like doing all the extras. Like, why can't we just use what I'm using? Why we gotta do the Zoom? Like, and then minutes before, but whatever. It wouldn't raise a big suspicion. I probably would have been polite enough to say, okay, fine, let's swap. So it looks like the Zoom update prompt led to a full wallet drain. Farouk said he joined the scheduled Zoom call to find there was no audio, though both participants appeared on the screen. In the chat, they instructed him to update Zoom to fix the issue. Shortly after running the update, his system was compromised. So here's where I don't know if I would keep going. Whereas it's like, and I get it, maybe I would. I wouldn't say it's like 100%, but again, now I need to update something because y'all they ain't working, and I was just on another platform where it was working. It's like, look, man, if y'all want to make this meeting happen, I just sent you another link. Let's do this. I'm not updating nothing. Like, I don't feel like doing this. So, but if the deal was a big deal, possibly I would have. Once he updated, it looks like 6 wallets were drained. And I'm about to get on him, but you know what? This actually does sound like a semi-real story. He says, "My fault for not keeping things more buttoned up. I'm about to get on him. My laptop compromised completely," he wrote. Let's see. Farouk added that while the attack was underway, the impersonator continued chatting on Telegram as if nothing was wrong. He even joked, "Let's catch up at SG." The hackers eventually drained years of savings in minutes. He later discovered that Alex Lynn's real account had been hijacked. According to Farouk, the attack was linked to a North Korean affiliate threat actor known as Dangerous Password. Now, I will say this has actually happened to me on a minor level. Uh, when I used to use local Bitcoins, for all those who remember local Bitcoins, peer-to-peer Bitcoin trading, uh, whenever so local Bitcoins had a rating system, so you know you weren't just using a stranger's like a stranger was going to do send you Bitcoin wherever you weren't interacting with a stranger. The only thing was toward the end of local Bitcoins, or the beginning of the end, I should say, one or two things happen. Either people accounts started to get hacked, or even more nefarious, people started to sell their accounts to hackers, right? So let's say you have a high ranked, high level account that has like 10,000 5-star reviews and blah, blah. This person always has the Bitcoin or the cash whenever you want to trade, blah, blah, blah. They either get hacked or they sell that account to a hacker, whatever. I don't know which happens, but a hacker gains access to that account. And it happened to me. I do a transaction with them using PayPal, whatever. Then they did some roundabout way to get the money back off of PayPal with the Bitcoin or something. It was something crazy, but essentially, they came to find out the account I was transacting with ended up getting hacked, right? So it wasn't even the real person who ran it. Somebody else got it. They got a bunch of people in the process. So yes, these things do happen. However, with this specific example and with other hacking examples, and he knows it too, which is why he even said, let's go back to it. My fault for not keeping things more buttoned up. What did he not keep buttoned up? Why do you have all of your crypto on one platform? And say, I would say platform, an item being a laptop. Why do you have all your crypto on the laptop? A, why do you have your crypto on a laptop that's connected to the internet? B, like this doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the same person who got their phone wallet hacked for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, people, you can't keep your main part of your portfolio on anything that touches the online world. Period. No laptops, no phones, or if you do a laptop or phone, it should be a separate one. It's the one that only time you go online is to trade or something. Like, you do not mix the two. I don't know how important I can impart this on you. If you only have one laptop, again, most laptops allow you to have different users on it. So even changing that user will change the environment for your crypto, where it make it even harder to hack. So hey, whatever this does happen, where they download a faulty file on your program, where they download it on that one user, they can't get to the other user unless it's some incredible program that I don't know about as of now. Not saying it can't happen, but it's way more difficult. So that's the first thing. If you have to use the same laptop, use a different user. But in reality, again, this guy was like a treasury. He was in charge of treasury for a big company. It's like he knows better, which is why he said he should have kept it more buttoned up. You shouldn't have all your crypto on one platform to begin with. However, I don't want to continue to victim blame. You know, this is something you got to be careful of, but I'm not going to victim blame, right? It's not his fault he got robbed, essentially. The criminals are doing criminal things, but you just have to be leery. So on the flip side, be on the lookout for things like this. Now we got to worry about fake Zoom, uh, prompts or whatever, but always be on the lookout and be leery. If something doesn't feel right, if it's weird, or if people are trying to make you use whatever platforms and things they're doing, tell them no. I feel more comfortable using Google Business. I feel more comfortable sending you a link. I've said it many a times, and if that's enough to end a business deal, then it is what it is. It wasn't a deal to begin with. Me wanting to do my own meeting link, or me wanting to do something where I'm safe and secure at, if that's enough for the deal to end, then it wasn't a deal to begin with. So again, be leery, because that is, again, one of the craziest ones I've seen, getting sent a fake Zoom link to drain all your wallets. And again, Buddy should have known better too. Though. I'm not trying to victim blame, but man, it's such a bad news story. But really, I almost wish it happened to him himself so that he doesn't lose it all by somebody else. But it's pretty tough to see. Reggie Middleton said Kathy Wood's ARK Invest funds have been selling their shares of Circle. They have sold nearly $100 million worth of Circle shares in the past 2 days. The sell-off is followed a significant rally. Oh man, is Circle? Did we get too excited too early? Okay, the SEC's reply is due today too, as well as Veritasium. Oh, Reggie, we definitely gonna be paying attention. For sure, for sure. Then yeah, I hope we definitely can pay attention to that. Let's see. Last few comments. Terra Luna 2.0. Do we have any Cardano bulls in the chat? Hilarious. I have not used Hyperliquid yet. I have looked at it after you talked about it, Alec, a few times. So I still been paying attention to it. I just haven't deep dive in it yet. Laura Smith said Hyperliquid seems like a scam. Why would I want to trade on chain? We should see. King asked Reggie about talking to Satoshi. Okay, I definitely will. Get as much Bitcoin as you can. Don't get excited when you see these big companies buying thousands of Bitcoin. For every one Bitcoin they buy, it eliminates a whole coiner. There was actually an article about that the other day. I don't know if it was from BlackRock or just a person with an opinion piece about BlackRock, but they essentially said that. They said they just eliminated a bunch of new single Bitcoiners all in one day. So I agree with you. All right. Other than that, I think that is the show for today. Reggie, I'm definitely gonna look at those court documents and run that story. And I'm with you. I know the mainstream won't get it. So Definitely gonna do that. So I owe you all that next week. A new look into Very Tasty versus the SEC, a match we've been waiting to see. And we're gonna end it with Satoshi Slim saying hex to the moon. Look, they made it out, man. Look, that whole shout out to Richard Hart. I mean, that's the perfect example of what Zach XBT is saying. He like, hey, you can go wild right now. There's nobody stopping it. I guess that is what it is. All right. Other than that, that is the show for today. Make sure you smash that like and share, subscribe if you're not already. I will be back next week. Like I said, hey, I'm up every morning. If I wake up Monday morning and we got just give me two. If the universe gives us two good news stories Monday, I'll rant about both for 30 minutes easily. All right. But we don't got nothing. It's the same old same. I will see you later on in the week. We'll see what happens. Smash that like and share. I'll see you then. Cheers and happy Juneteenth.